Welcome to Daily Meditation with Sangha Live.
Usual religious minute or two of meditation, of shared silence together, and then our session will get underway. This period of time, it's the final session on the theme of karma. We have been exploring some aspects of it. The theme today is freedom from karma. There will be a guided meditation, a talk, and the opportunity for any questions or responses that you might have, and I'll endeavour to respond. Quick advertisement here. I'm on duty with Sangha Live on Sunday. That's I think 6 p.m. Central European time, 5 p.m. UK time. It's on the power of reflection. It's for 90 minutes. We've had one session. We have 3 more to go on these Sunday evenings. You are extremely welcome. And in a way, it's a rather, hopefully, beneficial flow on from what we've been exploring over these days together. Before offering the guided meditation, I just rather briefly would like to respond to some of the important questions that you put in the chat column, which George kindly passed over to me. So I'm just going to put my eyes down and read. Sometimes with the questions a little bit long, so I'm going to cut them to the bone. When things are tough, pressured, person has depression or is consumed with responsibilities that are not avoidable, even the smallest glimmer of happiness and love are not visible. What comes to mind is making happiness, joy and love more visible. Really important point here. And then how can I take a really good look? So what I have in mind here, quite often in the world of mindfulness and meditation, it's about what is presenting itself and our relationship to what is presenting itself. Often in the present, but also in fact in past in relationship to future. But the teachings of mindfulness are not just about what is present. Please remember this. The teachings emphasize significantly the mindfulness of what is not present. So at times, even when a lot of responsibilities, a lot of pressure, there will still be times during the day when that is not present. It's not possible for the absolute continuity of all this. So the experience of mindfulness, this is not present. Right now, I'm not feeling under pressure. Right now, I'm not experiencing being weighed down with responsibilities. That absence of recognition of the absence of is the light which brings a receptivity to love and happiness. The love and happiness is the antidote to pressure and the being weighed down with responsibilities. Appreciation of the absence of, receptive. When something touches you, you feel it, called love, it's called happiness, contentment, or whatever. Just stay with that experience. The regularity of it, it will come back much more quickly and easily because you're much more familiar with it, and the size of pressure and responsibilities will accordingly go down. What could be better? All right. What exactly do we have to look to understand if we are neglecting something? Is it about resistance coming up in relation to the intention itself, or should our focus be more broad? It varies. So with regard to the question here, understanding is a key. The fancy word for this is wisdom. It means the same thing. When we understand, using the English, the issue stands under us, meaning we're not weighed down for it. It's not a problem there. One of the factors, as has been mentioned to you with this week and with the kamma, that's the influences, so-called positive, negative, or the fusion of them, that sometimes in the exploration, intention really matters. It's a central psychological inner coming together, supported by lots of others. Never underestimate about anything how the intention can change. So in the relationship to anything which is important to you, the intention can change. Sometimes it's an exploration. It's about the bigger picture. The bigger picture could be, as expressed with you, intention, action, and results. Your relationship to these three areas. The bigger picture than that, is there life outside the engagement with intention, action, and result? A sense of something bigger than all of that. We are deeply interested in intention, action, result, and we're deeply interested in the bigger picture. And that's what the teachings are about, expressed in many ways. How would you explain karma to a 5-year-old? Nice. Children love the story. And when I was teaching the kids in Bodh Gaya with the translator, I would tell the kids the story, and out of the story, they would get the sense. So the story is the key. Here is one example of a story. These were from 4-5-year-olds up to the teens, and they were the bigger kids, the poorest of the poor. So they would come to the session, and we would give them bananas and peanuts, and that was more interest to them. Interest, I'm sure. Anyway, there is a village. All the parents in the village, they were out in the fields, working very hard, growing the vegetables to feed their children. And all the children were left alone in the village. And then a huge monster came. The children were afraid. And that fear had built up. It's a karma, fear. And they began to run from the monster. And the monster got bigger and bigger. And then one of the little girls in the village, she stopped. She was only 5 years of age. She put her hands on her hips and she looked at the monster. And when she looked at the monster, the karma of fear, the monster got smaller and smaller and smaller. And it went from huge, and eventually it was just sitting in her hand, quiet. That's the response. I wonder whether it's good to give compliments to people fashionable. The people may feel better in the short term. They even get more attached to the way they look. There is a huge, in Dharma, difference between appreciation and praise. And praise has got some other agenda to it. It's the opposite to blame. Building somebody up, there's some personal investment in it, one wants something in return, it's to be liked or whatever. Appreciation doesn't have the self in it, therefore the absence of karma. And in that, sometimes we express an appreciation for the way a person dresses. If you can keep out the word fashion, people like me would appreciate it, because the fashion industry is making one of the biggest contributions to climate change, environmental destruction and loss of resources through all the chemicals and all the what's made. And the average person involved in fashion apparently might wear their dress or their suit or whatever it is perhaps 4 or 5 times. Tragic. So appreciation, yes, better the appreciation, more deeper, is to go to qualities which the person expresses, and maybe have some conversation about the industry, the clothes industry, the fashion industry, and that would even go deeper. All right. My mind is very active at the moment, not sure how to calm it, stuck on today's scenarios around my employment. Might there be a way to draw on today's teachings to help comfort and calm my mind and disquieted emotions? Yes. So, there is an identity. It is called the name of the job you have. The name of the job which you have is blah, 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 there is an identity. The identity of the self builds up. And with that, it's around employment. Sometimes it's another kind of identity. So the application of the teachings is to be mindful. This is a contracted state, the self caught up in employment, not being able to see too much outside of it. Get a perspective. Getting a perspective is there's one heck of a lot more to life than your job, and therefore your relationship to the nature. Eyes, indoors and outdoors, eyes and ears, as an example. Really be aware of that. Reflection. What will help to reduce this dependency of thinking about the job? What is the single point or two which I need to be clear about? And then apply that, rather than going around and around and then telling your friend, oh, I've got this problem, and your friends get bored with you because you keep talking about it or whatever. So get to the point. What is the essential thing which you might need to change or develop in relationship to the job. Be clear about that. Write those points down. Go to work and apply them. So you get your life back, because there's a lot more wonderful, precious things in life outside the job, and it would be a pity if you missed it. Oh, all right. I think I'm pretty well done here, because I've already taken up a few. Oh my God, time goes by. There. So for those of you who I didn't get the chance to respond to, please don't hesitate to drop me an email. I'll let George know. He'll pass them on to me. Let's have a quiet minute and then the guided meditation. We sit. In a simple way, our life engages in being, like right now, and in doing, action. Both are mutually supportive. Being is not more important than doing, and doing is not more important than being. Right now, human being. Being human. In this just being, there is the power of being conscious, called consciousness. There is the power of consciousness of calmness. It is vitally significant for well-being that if you are experiencing, such as right now, the feeling, the sensation of feeling calm and relaxed, you are conscious of this experience. This is calmness. This is relaxation. This is just being. In this welcome state, shall we say, of just being, there isn't any concern with karma. Karma of positive, negative influences of the past on the present. Karma involved in the relationship to intention, actions, and result. So all of that rather fades away. There is an authentic freedom, the freedom from pressure, freedom from busyness, the freedom from kamma, which easily interrupts clarity, vision, calmness, wise action. Freedom from karma is not like some kind of absolute metaphysical attainment. It can be known here and now. Not being caught up with the positive, the optimistic, the trying to do good. Not caught up in the reactive, the negative, the problematic. Freedom from karma can be known immediately. Thus, being without the shadows, positive, negative, good, not good. no interest to exaggerate in any way whatsoever the self. Not self-importance, nor self-rejection. Not self-love, nor absence of self-love. Not self-compassion, nor self-harm. Not self-pursuing goals, not self-rejecting goals. Seeing without the domination of the self, of I and my, of ego, is freedom from karma. It does not make a metaphysic out of freedom from karma. It's happening every day. In moments, in periods. So the self, the I, the me, the my, is not on the center, shall we say, of life. Whether engaged in being or in doing. remaining minute or so. Okay, thank you.
Today's podcast is an offering to you from our archive of freely available live daily classes. We make wisdom teachings and meditations as freely available as possible to as many people as wish to practice. You can help ensure we can continue to support a worldwide Sangha by leaving a review wherever you get your podcasts, by sharing this with someone who'd be interested, and by offering a small financial support at sangha.live/donate.